For years, Windows has been the default operating system for millions of people around the world. Whether it was for work, gaming, education, or everyday computing, Microsoft's platform dominated the desktop market with very little competition. But something unusual has been happening over the last few years. More users than ever are questioning whether Windows 11 is truly the future they were promised. At the same time, Linux, once considered a niche operating system for programmers and tech enthusiasts, is experiencing unprecedented growth. Communities are expanding, hardware support is improving, and major companies are investing heavily in open-source technologies. This raises an interesting question: is Windows 11's decline inevitable, and does Linux's rise signal a completely new era in personal computing? Let's explore what is really happening. When Microsoft announced Windows 11, expectations were incredibly high. Users expected a faster, more modern operating system with meaningful innovations. While Windows 11 certainly introduced a redesigned interface, centered taskbar, rounded corners, and several productivity improvements, many users quickly discovered that the visual changes were only part of the story. The strict hardware requirements became one of the biggest controversies. Millions of perfectly functional computers were suddenly considered unsupported simply because they lacked TPM 2.0 or newer processors. Many users felt forced to upgrade hardware that still performed well, creating frustration and unnecessary electronic waste. Another issue affecting Windows 11 is the growing number of advertisements and promotional content integrated directly into the operating system. Suggestions for Microsoft services, OneDrive promotions, Edge browser recommendations, and subscription reminders have become increasingly common. While some users ignore these features, others see them as distractions inside software they already paid for. Combined with increasing telemetry and data collection concerns, many users have started looking for alternatives that offer greater privacy and control. Performance has also become an important discussion. Modern versions of Windows include numerous background services designed for synchronization, security, cloud integration, and AI-powered features. While these services provide useful functionality, they also consume additional system resources. Older hardware often struggles to deliver the smooth experience users expect, even when basic tasks such as browsing the web or editing documents should be effortless. Meanwhile, Linux has quietly transformed itself. The Linux of 2026 is dramatically different from the Linux many people remember a decade ago. Installing Linux used to require technical knowledge, command line expertise, and patience. Today, many distributions offer polished installers, intuitive desktop environments, automatic driver detection, and software centers that make installing applications as easy as using a smartphone app store. One of Linux's greatest strengths is choice. Instead of one company deciding how every computer should function, users can select from hundreds of distributions designed for different needs. Ubuntu remains popular for beginners. Fedora showcases cutting-edge technologies. Linux Mint focuses on simplicity and familiarity. Pop_OS provides excellent support for creators and developers, while Arch Linux continues attracting enthusiasts who enjoy complete customization. This diversity allows users to choose an operating system that matches their workflow instead of adapting themselves to the operating system. Gaming, once considered Linux's greatest weakness, has experienced remarkable improvements. Valve's Proton compatibility layer has made thousands of Windows games playable on Linux with little or no configuration. The success of the Steam Deck demonstrated that Linux can power mainstream gaming hardware while delivering impressive performance. Major game engines increasingly support Linux. Graphics drivers continue improving, and anti-cheat compatibility has expanded significantly. Although Windows still maintains advantages for certain competitive multiplayer games, the gap is far smaller than it once was. Privacy is another major reason behind Linux's growing popularity. Most Linux distributions collect little or no personal data by default. Users have complete transparency regarding what software runs on their computers because the operating system's source code is publicly available. This openness builds trust among individuals who value digital privacy and want greater control over their personal information. Developers have also played a significant role in Linux's rise. Modern programming tools, container technologies like Docker, cloud platforms, artificial intelligence frameworks, and software development environments often work exceptionally well on Linux. Since most internet servers already run Linux, developers appreciate using the same environment on their personal computers that powers production systems worldwide. This consistency reduces compatibility issues and streamlines software development. Artificial intelligence is becoming another important factor shaping operating systems. Microsoft has integrated AI features deeply into Windows through various assistants and productivity tools. While these capabilities can be helpful, some users worry about increasing cloud dependency and data sharing. Linux communities are responding differently by embracing open source AI models that users can run locally without sending sensitive information to external servers. As local AI hardware becomes more powerful, Linux may become an attractive platform for users seeking privacy-focused artificial intelligence. Education is also contributing to Linux's momentum. Schools, universities, and coding bootcamps increasingly teach students using Linux environments because they provide valuable experience for careers in software engineering, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and data science. Students who become comfortable with Linux during their education often continue using it professionally, gradually expanding its desktop user base. The growing repairability movement also favors Linux. Instead of discarding older computers, many users install lightweight Linux distributions that breathe new life into aging hardware. Machines that struggle with Windows 11 often perform surprisingly well with Linux, extending their useful lifespan by several years. This appeals not only to budget-conscious consumers but also to environmentally conscious users seeking to reduce electronic waste. However, declaring the end of Windows would be premature. Microsoft still possesses enormous advantages. Windows remains deeply integrated into enterprise environments. Businesses depend on countless Windows-specific applications, and professional software for industries such as engineering, architecture, accounting, and specialized manufacturing often requires Windows. Many organizations simply cannot migrate overnight due to compatibility, training, and operational requirements. Windows also continues to dominate the gaming ecosystem despite Linux's impressive progress. Certain anti-cheat systems, proprietary drivers, and exclusive software still function best on Microsoft's platform. Content creators using specialized hardware or niche editing applications may also find Windows offers broader compatibility. Instead of replacing Windows entirely, Linux's growth may create something even more significant: genuine competition. For many years, desktop operating systems lacked meaningful alternatives capable of challenging Microsoft's dominance. Today, Linux offers a mature, polished, and increasingly user-friendly experience that forces Microsoft to respond with better features, improved performance, and greater respect for user preferences. Healthy competition ultimately benefits everyone, regardless of which operating system they choose. Cloud computing is also reshaping personal computing itself. As more applications move into web browsers, operating system choice becomes less restrictive. Email, office suites, video editing tools, communication platforms, and even software development environments increasingly run inside the browser. This trend reduces dependence on Windows-exclusive applications and makes switching operating systems easier than ever before. Looking ahead, the desktop operating system landscape may become more diverse than at any point in history. Instead of one dominant platform controlling nearly every personal computer, users may choose systems based on their priorities. Those seeking maximum compatibility may continue using Windows. Developers, privacy advocates, and open-source enthusiasts may increasingly embrace Linux. Creative professionals may prefer other specialized platforms. Personal computing could become defined by flexibility rather than monopoly. So, is Windows 11's decline inevitable? The answer isn't entirely straightforward. Windows will almost certainly remain one of the world's leading operating systems for many years. However, its unquestioned dominance appears to be fading as users gain access to realistic alternatives. Linux is no longer just an operating system for experts. It has evolved into a practical, powerful, and polished platform capable of meeting the needs of everyday users. Whether driven by privacy concerns, aging hardware, gaming improvements, open-source innovation, or the desire for greater control, more people are discovering that Linux is no longer the future waiting on the horizon. For many, that future has already arrived, marking the beginning of a new era in personal computing where choice, openness, and user freedom matter more than ever before.